Good morning, students. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss is determinants of curriculum. Now, the learning objectives of today's topic are explain the concept of curriculum, means the student will be able to explain that this is the concept of curriculum. Explain the interrelationship between the various domains of curriculum, means they will able to explain the interrelationship between the various domains of curriculum. Describe determinants of curriculum design and plan. What are the different uh, determinants of curriculum? What they are planning and design. Analyze the influence of various determinants of curriculum. Now, curriculum. A curriculum refers to a defined and prescribed course of study, means which is related to a particular course, and in that curriculum, it is been defined that these should be studied, which student must fulfill in order to pass a certain level of education, and that curriculum needed to be studied by every individual if we want to pass a certain level of education or want to get a particular degree. The four components of curriculum design are purpose, that is aim, goal, and objective. Now, the first component which is being used for the curriculum design is the purpose, means it should be clear that these are the aims, goals, and objectives to study that particular subject or the curriculum. Design of subject matter, how the subject matter has been designed. Implementation of the learning experiences, how what are the learning experiences which will the student will get during their teaching learning process. Evaluation approaches, what are the different evaluation approaches which will be used by the teacher to judge whether the objectives has been fulfilled or achieved or not. That has been given by Ornstien and Hunkins in 1988. The manner in which these four components are arranged, the way in which these four components are arranged, that is starting from the purpose and ending at the evaluation, are arranged determines the design of the curriculum, and these determinants and these components helpful in determining the design of the curriculum. What should be the design of the curriculum? One often one component is given more weightage than the other. Now, what is that? Sometimes it is that when we are designing the curriculum, we will give weightage to one aspect more than other. However, most curricular design may lay more emphasis on context, subject matter, while other focus on learning activity. Now, what is that? When the curriculum makers are framing the curriculum, sometimes when they are framing the curriculum or the curricular designs are being prepared by them, they give more emphasis to the subject matter and less to the aim or the purposes or the evaluation process. The interrelation among these four components of curriculum design has been given by this, and the interrelationship between the four components, that is the purpose, design of subject matter, implementation of the learning experiences, and evaluation, was given by Gills in 1942 in a diagram. They have used methods and organization instead of learning experiences. Now, the components of design source as given by Gills, what are the objectives? That the first we have to decide that these are the purposes, goals, and objectives of the particular curriculum. Methods and organization, that way the methods and the content will be delivered, evaluation will be done, and the subject matter will be that for that particular curriculum. A curriculum designer is thus confronted with four basic questions. Now, when a curriculum maker is making a curriculum, he is confronted with these four basic questions. What is expected to be done? What content is to be included? What subject matter to be included? What strategies, resources, and activities will be employed? Means, what are the different strategies, techniques, resources, and activity will be employed by the teacher during the teaching learning process. How will the results of such design be appraised? The paradigm presented by Gills at 1942 suggests continuous interactivity between the four components. Now, what is that? The, what Gills had said that there is an interrelationship and interactivity between the four components. Decision made about one component will influence the other. Means decision regarding one component will influence the other component. This involves theoretical and practical issues. Now, what these components will involve both theoretical and practical issues, which will influence selection of goals, what should be the goals or objectives of a particular curriculum, objectives of education, content, what should be the subject matter, and its organization, how the subject matter can be organized, what should be the basis of the organization of the subject matter. Determine the pattern of delivering the content means what should be the techniques or the methods of delivering the particular content, and also guide their judgment about the evaluation process to be adopted and what evaluation process should be adopted by them. There are four bases of any curriculum: social forces, and there are four basis for any curriculum making, and these are the social forces, the human development, the nature of learning, and the nature of knowledge, and the cognition. Let us understand the importance and influence of all these bases. Now, these are the basis of curriculum. The social forces is affecting the curriculum. Nature of knowledge and cognition is affecting the curriculum. Nature of learning is also affecting the curriculum, or the human development is also affecting the curriculum. The social forces in a society influencing the functioning of schools directly as well as indirectly. How the school is functioning, and the social forces or the society is influencing the functioning of the school, whether directly or indirectly. These social forces are reflected in social goals, means the goals which will be formed by the schools: cultural uniformity and diversity, social pressures, social change, future planning, and concepts of culture. Our country is multicultural and has a long recorded history. Means our country has a numerous number of culture prevailing. The social forces represent a wide-ranging variety as well as complexity. These forces determine the social agenda of education. Means these social forces determine what will be the agenda of our education, and according to the agenda of our education, our curriculum will be modified and changed. The curriculum reflects contemporary social forces and helps shape the society. National Policy on Education 1986, modified in 1992, is very specific on this aspect. The national system of education will be based on national curriculum. Means what should be the national curriculum? Framework which contains a common core along with other components that are flexible. The common core will include the history of Indian freedom movement. Means the common core includes the history of Indian freedom movement, how India got the independence, the constitution obligations, what are the constitution obligations, and other content essential to nurture national identity, and other content, other subject matter which should be included in the curriculum as they are important to nurture national identity among the students. These elements will cut across subject areas and will be designed to promote values such as India, common culture heritage, democracy, secularism, equality of sexes, protection of the environment, removal of social barriers. Means these elements will cut across the subject areas and will promote values among the students and the citizens of a country. All educational programs will be carried out in strict conformity with secular values. Means these secular values should be developed among the students or the citizens, and this is the basis of education. And all education programs will be carried on in this strict conformity only. Now, the second one is human development. Various aspects of human growth and development are accompanied partly by the structured curriculum, how the human growth and development will progress, and what are the various aspects of growth and development, and these are accomplished partly by the structured curriculum that are being used in the school and colleges. In use in the school and partly by the society. The area of human development has been well researched and studied in detail. Means what are the area of human development, and in that area so many researches has been done. These studies have made us think afresh about children, and the researches which has been done in the area of human development has make us to think their development stages. What are the developmental stages of a child? As the developmental stages also affect the process of learning, how he or she is learning, how they think. The development process will also affect the manner in which they are thinking, their needs and interests. What are their needs, specific needs and interests related to that particular age? Children are not small adults. They differ from adults in many more important ways. Means children, and there is a difference between the children and the adults. Differences across various developmental stages before adulthood are not merely quantitative, they are essentially qualitative. These differences had been admirably described by various child psychologists, means the importance of growth and development and the stages of growth and development and the effect of growth and development uh, on the students, on the learning process of the students. Chief among these being Jean Piaget, who has worked on that. Knowledge about human development can help the teacher to develop a curriculum. What are the stages of growth and development? How a child develops? All the knowledge related to the development of the child is helping the children or the teacher to develop a curriculum. The curriculum thus developed must include various aspects of development stages. Means when we are developing the curriculum, when the curriculum makers are designing the curriculum, they must include various aspects of development stage, not only in terms of age coherence, but also differences among children from the same age cohort. What is the difference between a development of a girl child and a boy child? Nature of learning. Various aspects of the learning process have been well researched. Mean various aspects of learning process, how a individual, how a learner learns. Various aspects of the learning process have been well researched. Means many researches have been conducted in that area. Though we not being able to reveal the entire process, what are the nature of learning, we will not able to reveal the entire process. This has given rise to a number of learning theories. Means the nature of learning has given rise to a number of learning theories. Chief among these being the behavioristic theories and the cognitive theories. These learning theories recommended different approaches to the task of curriculum planning. Means the behavioristic approach has given a different task of curriculum planning, or the cognitive theories. If a curriculum is being developed on the basis of the cognitive theory, then a different type of curriculum will be planned. Curriculum specialists cannot ignore the role of these theories because most of these are scientific in their orientation. Now, when a curriculum maker is designing a curriculum, when a curriculum maker is framing a curriculum, he cannot ignore the theories, learning theories, as the most of the learning theories are based on the scientific and are scientific in their orientation. Now, nature of knowledge and cognition. The nature of knowledge and cognition is yet another basis of curriculum. The nature of knowledge and cognition is the another basis of curriculum construction. What distinguishes knowledge from information is there is a difference between a knowledge and getting some information. How do children transform knowledge, information into knowledge, and what is the process which a child use to transfer the information into knowledge? What knowledge is most worthwhile? What type of knowledge is very important? What is the nature of thought process? What should be the thought process, the nature of thought process? How are various thought processes and cognitive process skills related to each other? And how are various thought processes and the cognitive process skills are interrelated or correlated with each other. These questions have interested teachers, psychologists, researchers, as well as philosophers. Means what knowledge is worthwhile, how do children transform information into knowledge. These type of questions attract the psychologists, researchers, as well as the philosopher. Answer to these questions can help educationists organize knowledge in the curriculum. When we get the answers of these questions from the researchers or from the psychologist basis or from the philosophy, these type of answers help the educationists or the curriculum makers to organize knowledge in the curriculum. It has been established how that learners have their own preferred learning styles. Now, it has been established by the researchers in that area that every learner has its own learning style and strategies, and every learner adopt different strategies to understand a basic concept. A good curriculum should therefore provide alternative paths for learning according to different learning styles of students. A good curriculum means that curriculum which satisfy the needs of the society, the needs of the individual, therefore provide alternative paths for learning according to the different learning styles of the students. Now, determinants of curriculum. Curriculum for any level is determined by many factors. It is important that these factors must be understood as they help in providing direction to curriculum development. Means these determinants are helpful in making the curriculum, development. And these determinants are giving direction for the development of the curriculum. Now, philosophical orientations. Smith, Stanley, and Jones in 1957 have given a definition, and what they stated have asserted that philosophy is essential when formulating and justifying educational purposes. Now, they are saying that philosophical is the most important determinant when we are framing curriculum and when we are formulating and justifying educational purposes, that these must be the educational purposes for particular curriculum. Selecting and organizing knowledge, when we will select the knowledge and organize the knowledge, formulating learning activities, and these are the learning activities around which a curriculum should resolve, or these activities will help in achieving the objectives of the curriculum. Formulating learning activities, the aims are the statement of values which are derived from the philosophy. Means philosophy is the basis, means represent the process, and it represent the process and methods, and the different methods reflect the philosophical choices, and it's reflect the philosophical choices, and at the end collate the facts, concepts, and principles of knowledge or behavior learned by the learner. According to Ornstien and Hunkins in 1988, the function of philosophy could be either to serve as the basis or starting point of curriculum development. Means philosophy is the basis for starting point of curriculum development. On these points the curriculum should be developed, or as an interdependent function with other functions in curriculum development. It involves an understanding of the cause and effect relationship. It involves an understanding, means we will understand that this is the relationship between a cause and effect, questioning one's point of view and that of others, and what are the other points of view. Clarifying one's belief means we will able to clarify that these are the beliefs of one person and these are the values, and formulating a framework for making decision and acting on these decisions. Different proponents have related philosophy to curriculum differently. Of the first school of thought to which John Dewey belonged, contended that philosophy may be defined as the general theory of education, and that the business of philosophy is to provide the framework for the aims and methods of school, and the philosophy is the basis and which is providing the framework for the these are the aims, goals, and objectives and methods of a particular school. The second school of thought is exemplified by Taylor in 1949. The first school was given by John Davy, and the second was given by the Taylor. According to him, philosophy is one of five criteria influencing educational goal. Means the philosophy is affecting the making of the curriculum. Is one of the five criteria. Means five criteria are influencing the making of the curriculum or the developing of the curriculum, and philosophy is one of the five bases or the criteria. Philosophy is one of the five criteria influencing educational goals. What should be the educational goals of a particular and is interrelated to other criteria, and that one criteria is related to other criteria like studying of learners, how the learners are studied, study of contemporary life, suggestion from subject specialist and the psychology of learning, etc. Means all these criteria are interrelated with each other and influencing the educational goals and the curriculum at large. Now, idealism. Idealism emphasizes that matter is an illusion. And now, what is that? That matter is an illusion, and moral and spiritual reality is the chief explanation of the world. And what is the chief important thing of the world is the moral and spiritual reality. They consider truth and values are absolute. Idealism consider truth and values are absolute, timeless and universal. The world of mind and ideas are permanent, means the ideas is permanent, regularly and orderly, it represents a perfect order. According to idealism, knowledge consists of free thinking of the latest ideas present in the mind. Now, according to idealism, by knowledge the means consist of free thinking. We are thinking again and again of the latest ideas which are present in the mind. Hence, it is the teacher's job to bring out this little knowledge into the consciousness of the child, and it is the role or the responsibility of the children to bring that knowledge into the consciousness of the child, which would imply that teacher would act as role models of enduring values. The school must be highly structured, advocating only those ideas that demonstrate those enduring values. Means our curriculum should curriculum should be developed in such a way that it should develop values among the learners. The choice of instructional material means the methods or through which the materials through which the instruction will be imparted to the student would depend on the subject, means what type of instruction will be used by the teacher will depend on what type of subject he is teaching, which constitute the cultural heritage of mankind. According to Austrian, three essential skills, three RS, and essential subjects like English, mathematics, science, history, and foreign languages must be the part of the curriculum. Uh, When we are talking about the idealism, and the idealism focuses a curriculum which says that curriculum must include English, mathematics, science, history, and foreign languages. Now, realism. Realism believes that human behavior is rational when it conforms to the laws of nature and is governed by social values. Now, what is that? That realism believes that human behavior is rational when it conforms to the laws of nature, means a rational behavior will be called rational when it's confirmed according to the laws of nature and governed by the social values of that particular society. People perceive the world through their senses and reason, and the way the person is perceiving the world is through their senses and the reasons. Therefore, education as a matter of reality rather than speculation. So, we are saying that according to realism, education as a matter of reality than what we speculate. According to realists, curriculum follows a hierarchical order with the abstract subjects at the top and the transitory subjects at the bottom. So they are giving importance to the abstract subject, and at the bottom they have given the place to the transitory subjects. They stress that a curriculum consists of organized body of knowledge pertaining to specific areas. For example, the history curriculum comprises experiences of mankind. Means the history subject, the curriculum of the history should include the experiences of human being. Details related to animals can be studied in zoology, and in the curriculum of the zoology, we studied about the animals. Like the idealist, the realist also stresses logic and lessons. And like the idealistic, the realistic also stress give importance to the logic and lessons and exercise the mind and that cultivate rational thought. It is the responsibility of the teacher then to impart to the learners the knowledge about the world they live in. Now, it is the duty or the responsibility of the teacher to impart the learners the knowledge about the world in which they are living. Logic and the experiences that cultivate human minds are emphasized in the curriculum. Logic, the reasons and the experiences which the learner is getting that cultivate human minds are emphasized in curriculum. The three R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, are also necessary in a person's basic education. Now, realism is focusing on the three R, and these are reading, writing, and arithmetic, and they are saying that these should be included in the education. They also believe that this is subject experts are the source and authority for determining the curriculum. And the subject experts means those teachers who are going to teach that particular subject are the source and authority for determining what type of curriculum it should be. The next one is pragmatism. Pragmatism also refers to as experimentalism, means they are giving focuses on experiments, learning through by doing. Is based on change, process, and reality. In contrast to the traditional philosophies that is idealism and realism, pragmatism suggests that the value of an idea lies in its actual consequences. Now, what it's we are saying that the pragmatism is a contrast or a when we are comparing it with different ideologies of realism and idealism. Pragmatism is focusing that the value of an idea lies in its actual consequences. Thus, they believe that learning occurs when a person engage in problem solving, and they are saying a learning will be occurred in a person only when that person is involved in that learning process and when he is engaged himself in the problem solving, which is transferable to a wide variety of subjects and situations, and that knowledge and that learning should be transferred to a variety of subjects and situations. It is believed that whatever values and ideas which are upheld currently would be considered as tentative since further social development must refine or change them. Now, what they are saying that there has been a changing and review of values and ideas as the society is changing, as the values and ideas of a particular society will change. It will definitely redefine or reframe the values and ideas of a particular curriculum. It is believed that whatever values and ideas which are happened currently means which are necessary for the current situation or for the current era would be considered as tentative. They will not be given importance since further social development must refine or change them. As there will be a social development, these values and these ideas will be again reframed. For instance, at a particular period of time, it was generally believed that the earth was flat. Now, what is that? They are saying that at a particular period of time, we believe that earth was flat, which was subsequently disapproved through scientific research. But we disapproved that particular fact by researchers in that particular area. To consider, therefore, what is changeless idealism and the perceived universe realism, and to discard social and or perceptual change is determined to the overall growth and development of a child. How there is a growth and development of a child. What is the process of growth and development among a child? Curriculum according to pragmatism means when we are framing a curriculum according to the idealism or the pragmatism or the realism, there should be a change in the curriculum design and in framing. But when we are framing a curriculum according to pragmatism, should be so planned that it induces teachers and the learners to think critically. Means when a curriculum makers is making a or framing a curriculum according to the ideology of pragmatism, according to the determinant of pragmatism, it should be planned in such a way that it induces teachers and the learners to think critically. Means they should start think critically rather than what to think, and they should not it should not focus on the what they have to think. Means the curriculum should encourage for critical thinking among the learners and the teacher rather than what to think. Teaching should therefore be more exploratory than explanatory. Learning takes place in an active way as learners solve problems. And what they are saying, when we are delivering a lecture, that learners should be actively involved in that learning process. They should not be passive listeners. And when they will be actively involved, when they involved in the problem solving behavior, which help them widen the horizon origins of their knowledge and reconstruct their experiences and to reconstruct their experiences in consonance with the changing world. Therefore, the teacher should provide learners learning opportunities. Means learning opportunities should be provided by them to construct their own learning experiences in the construction of their own learning, and the construction of the learning will depend only when they are actively involved in the teaching bundling process, when they are actively involved in the learning process. They stress more on problem solving. Means pragmatism gives more emphasis on problem solving, how the learner is going to solve a particular problem using scientific methods. Means to solve a problem, that particular individual or that particular learner should use scientific methods or the scientific approaches to solve that particular problem, then acquiring an organized body of knowledge. Now, next one is existentialism. According to the existentialist philosophy, learners are thrust into a number of choices making situation. Means there are a number of choices, and the learners has to make a choice on the basis of the situation. Learners should be given the freedom to choose what to study. Means when we are talking about this approach, it's give the learner the freedom what they want to study, and also to determine what criteria to determine these truths. It emphasized that education must center on the perceptions and feelings of the individual, and it's giving emphasis that education should give or should uh, give importance to the perceptions, how the learner are perceiving something, and feelings of the individual, how individual has the feelings, in order to facilitate understanding, in order to motivate or develop understanding of personal reactions or responses to life situation. Of primary concern in this process is the individual, and who is the focus area. The primary concern is on the individual, how he is learning. Since life is based upon personal meaning, the nature of education, the extensions would argue should be largely determined by the learner. Individual learners should not be forced into predetermined programs of study. Rather, learning provisions must be made by the teacher according to the choice of the learner. Means the process of learning, designing of the program should be according to the choice of the learner, what the individual learner wants. Ornstien and Hunkins are of the view that as an excellence curriculum would focus on experiences, means the curriculum should focus on the different experiences what the learner will get and subjects that lend themselves to philosophical dialogue and acts of choice making. It would enable activities of self expression and experimentation, means it will enable activities of self-expression and experimentations to the learner. The teacher becomes a partner in the process of teaching learning, and the teacher becomes the partner of a learner in the process of teaching learning, assuming a non-directive role. The teacher is a more of a facilitator. The teacher will work as a guide, enabling the learner to explore and search to develop insight rather than one who impose predetermined values. He should work as a facilitator, he should work as a guide, as a motivator, rather than imposing predetermined values among the students or the learners. Now, the fifth one is reconstructivism. Now, reconstructivism lays more emphasis on society centered education, means the focus area of education should be on the society. What is the need of the society? Which took care of the needs of the society, not the individual. We are not focusing our emphasis on the needs of the learner and all classes, not only the middle class and not only on a particular class, but we are focusing on the society centered education. They believe that as the school college is intended by virtually all the youth, it must be used as a means to shape the attitude and values of each generation, and it must be used in such a way that it is a means to shape the attitude and values of each generation. As a result, when the youth become adult, they will share certain common values, and thus the society will be reshaped itself. The reconstructed curriculum consists of subjects which promote new social, economic, and political education. Means when we are framing the curriculum on that basis, means the curriculum should consist of subjects which promote new social, new society, economic, and new political education to the learners or the student. The subject matter is to be used as a vehicle for studying social problems, means the subject matter which has been selected for that particular curriculum should be suggested in such a way that help in solving the social problem which must serve as a focus of the curriculum, and these social problem must serve as a focus of the curriculum. Views of some recent reconstructed have been forth by Ornstein and Hunkins in 1988, who has given a reconstructed program of education which emphasized the following. Means a program has been given by Ornstein and Hunkins, and that program emphasized on the following point: critical examination of the cultural heritage of a society as well as the entire civilization, means a critical view should be there. Scrutiny of controversial issues, commitment to bring about social and constructive changes in the society, cultivation of a planning in advance attitude that consider the realities of the world we live in, and enhancement of cultural renewal and internationalizes. Now, stemming from this view, reconstruction expands the field of curriculum to include intuitive, personal, mystical, political, and social system of theorizing. Means all these things are also being included in the curriculum as the time changes. In general, the curriculum advocates by reconstruction emphasize sociology, psychology, and philosophy or not the hard sciences, means they are advocating giving importance to sociology subjects like sociology, psychology, and philosophy. The thirst is on developing individual self realization and freedom through cognitive and intellectual activities, and thus on liberating people from the restrictions, limitations, and controls of society. The idea is that we have had enough of discipline based education and narrow specialization, and we do not need more specialized now. We need more good people if we want to survive. What is the need? Need is of good people, and now we don't need the specialized person. The reconstructed, including such recent proponents as Mario Fatni, Erodation, and Alvin Toffler, seeks a curriculum that emphasizes cultural pluralism, internationalism, and futurism. Students should be taught to appreciate life in a world of many nations, a global village with many alternatives for the future they advocate. What we as curriculum specialists need to do is to adapt an electric approach, the middle road, where there is no emphasis on extreme of subject matter or social psychological development, excellence or equality. Means we should focus on developing a curriculum which follow the approach of middle road. We must understand that curriculasts have to continuously reflect on their curricular decision, means as the curriculum has been changing, the development of the curriculum is a continuous process, and these should be based on the changing needs of the society and student, and that curriculum changes should be the basis of changing needs of the society and the student, and the curriculum philosophy should be the one that is politically and economically feasible and serve the need of students and the society. Now, today we have discussed about the curriculum, the determinants of curriculum, and the philosophical determinants of curriculum. For further reading on this topic, you can refer these references. Now, now let us discuss some MCQs, as MCQs are the best or the important tool of judging the outcomes of a learner. Now, the first one is the dash in a society influence the functioning of society, schools directly as well as indirectly. Now, what is that? Which is uh, influencing the functioning of schools, and it is not affecting the functioning of schools directly, but it is also affecting us indirectly. The first one is option A, social forces, B, economic forces, the C, psychological forces, or the D, philosophical forces. Now, the students, you have to grab the correct answer from the given choices, and the correct answer is social forces, means the social forces influencing the functioning of schools. The second one, the Dash system of education will be based on a national curriculum framework which contain a common core along with other components that are flexible. Now the options are A, national, B, international, C, religion, or the D, local. Now the students, you have to give the correct answer, and the correct answer is national, means the national system of education will be based on national curricular framework. Now the third one, nature of dash has given rise to a number of learning theories. Who has given rise to a number of learning theories? Chief among these being the behavioristic theory and the cognitive theory. And chief among these theories were the behavioristic theory and the cognitive theory. The options are A, learning, B, personality, C, adjustment, or the D1, prediction. Now, the students, you have to select the correct answer, and the correct answer is learning. So, nature of learning has given rise to a number of learning theories. The fourth one is Dash expands the field of curriculum to include intuitive, personal, mystical, political, and social system of theorizing. The options are A, reconstructivism, B, syllabus, C, theory, or it's D, practical. So the correct answer is reconstructivism. Now the fifth one, dash laid more emphasis on society-centered education. Means who has given more emphasis, more focus on society-centered education, which took care of the needs of society and all classes. The options are A. Reconstructivism, B. Idealism, C. Pragmatism, or the D. Realism. Now, the students, you have to select the correct answer from the given choices, and the correct answer is option A, that is Reconstructivism. Now, the sixth one, the nature of knowledge and cognition is yet another basis of what? Means the nature of knowledge and cognition is yet another basis of what? The options are A, curriculum, whether the nature of knowledge and cognition is yet another basis of curriculum maker, syllabus, C, theory, or the D, practical. So you have to choose the correct answer from the given options, that is curriculum, syllabus, theory, or practical. Yes, students, what will be the correct answer? Now the correct answer is curriculum. Now the seventh one. The four components of curriculum designs are purpose, design of subject matter, implementation of the learning experiences, and what. Now what we are saying, that when we are framing a curriculum, when we are designing a curriculum, four important components play a very important role, or the curriculum design it's influenced by the four components. And what are those four components? Purpose, design of subject matter, implementation of the learning experiences, and what will be the fourth one? Now, options are A. Evaluation approaches, B. Measurement approaches, C. Prediction approaches, or the D. Diagnostic approaches. Now, students, you have to select the correct answer, and the correct answer is option A, that is evaluation approaches. Means the components of a curriculum design and purpose are design of subject matter, implementation of the learning experiences, what are the purposes of framing that particular curriculum, and in the last it is evaluation approaches. Now, the eighth one, who stated that, means who has given this definition, have asserted that philosophy is essential when formulating and justifying educational purposes. Means philosophy plays a very important and essential factor in formulating, when we are formulating our educational purposes, and justifying that these should be the educational purposes, selecting and organizing, the way in which the selection and organization of the content or the knowledge has to be presented before the students or the learner, formulating learning activities, that these should be the learning activities to impart this curriculum. Now, whether this definition was given by option A, Smith, Stanley, and Shaw, B by Bacon, C by Alexander, or the D by Smith. So you have to select the correct answer from the given choices, and the correct answer is option A, that is Smith, Stanley, and Shaw. Now, the ninth one is the function of dash could be either to serve as a base or starting point of curriculum development. Now, the function of what should be either to serve as the basis, means from that the curriculum will be start framing, or starting point of curriculum development, that this should be the starting point for the curriculum development, or as an interdependent function, or it will work as an interdependent with other functions in curriculum development. Now the options are A, philosophy, whether it is the function of philosophy, option B, sociology, whether it is a function of sociology, C, psychology, function of psychology, or the D, function of economics. Now these are the options, and you have to select the correct answer. And now the correct answer is option A, that is the function of philosophy. Now the tenth one, in dash learner should be given the freedom to choose what to study and also to determine what criteria to determine these truths. Now, which school of philosophy suggests that or recommended that students should be given the freedom to choose what to study, what they want to study, and also to determine what criteria to determine these truths and what should be the criteria for determining these truths. Now, the options are A. Existentialism, B. Naturalism, C. Pragmatism, or the D. Idealism. Now, these are the choices, and you have to select the correct answer. And the correct answer is option A, and that is extremism. Thank you, students. With this particular narration, you understand that this is the meaning of a curriculum. This is the importance of different domains in the construction of the curriculum, and these are the determinants on which the curriculum makers frame their curriculum. And today, the determinant which we have discussed is the philosophical determinant, how the philosophical determinant is affecting or influencing the curriculum making, or the curriculum maker are influencing by the philosophical determinant. In now in the next lecture we will go through the next topic, and that topic is the psychological determinants of curriculum. What is the psychological determinant of curriculum making? What is the role of the psychological determinant in the construction of the curriculum, and why it is that important? Thank you so much. Thank you, students, for your patience listening.